Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're on our fourth consecutive live stream in a row. Of course, 75 was the all-time high, and I think 34 was second place. Each trip has broken the consecutive live streams over here. So we're back on our fourth consecutive live stream. If you're new to the channel, awesome. If you're coming back, welcome back. First 15, 30 minutes, depending on how much time we have for the day. By the way, thank God it's Friday, right? TGIF. The first 15, 30 minutes, we're going to go through the charts, Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks. We want to take a look at some of the Bitcoin miners today, stuff like that. So possible rant today, possible rant. And in the second half of the live stream, maybe not even rant, maybe just more of a teaching moment or a teachable moment, right? So we'll probably get into a little bit of that in the mix. But first, we're going to dive in to the charts. And then, of course, put in all your requests. If you request, whether it's crypto, stocks, futures, whatever it is, put in all the details. Let me know the ticker symbol. Let me know if it's crypto. Let me know if it's stocks, whatever it is, so I can search for it quickly so we don't delay on the live stream and keep things rolling. And we can get more requests in, and then we can talk about, are you long, are you short, all that stuff, and we can take a look at it. So this is Bitcoin. Don't forget, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Help me, help you, help me, smash it. With that, good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. Time to buy Bitcoin or not? NVIDIA buy or not? Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost, obviously none of this is financial advice, so we don't give financial advice if we're going to be whether I tell you to buy or sell. I'll never do that. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully you find some entertainment along the way. So with that, Bitcoin is down 2.14%. Yesterday's candle close was the fifth. I posted yesterday that it was the fifth highest candle close of all time. It was the fifth candle close above $70,000. So it's still in bullish territory. But what if it's going to correct for a little bit longer, right? What if it just doesn't take off up to the moon? And what if it takes more time off the clock, building up additional momentum before making the next move higher, right? It is possible. Usually you see a correction last, whether it's like 20, 30% correction or 15%, whatever it is, usually the correction lasts at least, 30 days, 45 days. So this would be a very short correction if that's all it was, right? So just being aware, not to be caught off guard, that it was only a 6-day correction, right? So that's not too typical for Bitcoin. You can see that you could consider this a sideways correction, but this sideways correction went from December 5th to February 6th, roughly, right? Even pumped up a little bit and then came back down for that correction. So you could consider that like a sideways coiling up for that next monster move up. So it is possible that maybe it doesn't correct lower, like take out $60,000 down here at 60,750, but maybe it goes through a sideways correction, and maybe that would look like something like, come back down, right? Come back down, coils, maybe spike up, spike down, right? But it's kind of in this area and then comes back out like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go sideways here. And this would be a temporary potential lower high, right? So you got a high, potential lower high, and then kind of goes through this consolidation. So for those shorter term swing traders out there, this will, especially with the ones with leverage, 4K mods. Shooter, by the way, good morning. Welcome back, Shooter, by the way, long-time market sniper over there. The chop is what gets most people, right? You might nail a huge trade out like this. You might take profit up in this area, right? Wherever it is, or up in this area, you might take profit. And then you're you're buying with leverage, you're shorting with leverage, you're buying with leverage, shorting, and eventually you get chopped up in the chop, right? There's actual indicators that are called chop. I don't use it. I've back tested it. I looked at it. Wasn't anything that could add value or an edge to me personally, but I've seen they actually call it a chop indicator out there. And so don't get caught up in the chop, right? Try not to, do your best. But I could see where, if we didn't just keep pumping up, and this candle would be a tell, right? If it's just kind of a fake out to the upside and then comes back down into this area, then I could see it going through a sideways correction, right? Because the correction only was 6 days. So if it's going to be a V-shaped recovery, right, that we talked about as a possibility, could be a V-shaped recovery. Well, you want the V shape to keep V shaping. You don't want to go into the V shape and then it comes back out, right? So you want the V shape to keep V shaping. And if you're starting to get candle closes back below, right, and you're starting to put in that lower high over here like that, that's no longer a V shape. That's coming back down like this, right? And then whatever it is, right? The coiling TA, right? Still not talking about the crash, right? Still not talking about that. Talking about coiling for the next major move up, right? And remember, we've got the halving coming up. So it could go through this coiling process, could even go lower, could really trap in some bears possibly, right? If it puts in a lower high, it's too early to say. The candle could close way up here, right? Way too early to say. Take out this pivot low. Now you've got a lower high and a lower low. Price comes all the way back down and then comes back out, right? And that would be after the post halving. I believe I'd have to take a look, but I believe the post halving was the last time I looked was April 17th, right? So April 17th, you got the potential halving coming up, whether it's the 15th, the 17th, the 20th, doesn't really matter, right? Could come in for some sort of coiling and then come back out after that. So it's possible. Was that it? If it was only a 6-day correction, you want to see that V. And if it stops doing the V-shaped recovery, then it's no longer a V-shaped recovery, right? So just keep that in mind, especially if you're trading leverage, right? If you're trading leverage and you took this breakout as it's pumping up, make sure to have your stop loss in. Probably not a bad idea to if you bought, say, for example, at the buy signal at 67,278, probably not a bad idea to move the stop loss to break even. Then you're on a risk-free trade and then you don't even care, right? Of course you care because you want to make money, but you're not worried, right? You're not losing sleep overnight because crypto trades 24/7. Yep, we got into a rant. Smash a like if you want to get into a rant or a teachable moment. And this wasn't even what I was talking about. I have another one, so we might get into another one. But if you took that buy signal with leverage, for example, on the daily chart, and maybe you're on a lower time frame like the 8-hour chart, moving a stop loss up to break even, I like doing that, right? Yes, it could come back out and, maybe you get stopped out, but it's better than if you're on 10x leverage, for example, it's better than giving back all those gains and losing money quickly, right? So anyways, just something to pay attention to. This is just an idea of what could happen. Again, we're talking about a possible V-shaped recovery. If it doesn't keep Ving out and pumping higher, then it's no longer a V-shaped recovery. And so we're going to keep a close eye on it as a possible, you got a high, possible lower high. We're not talking about a crash. This is just being over dramatic. Is it always a possibility? Yes. But if it starts getting candle closes back below, say this area, then we have to strongly consider lower prices. Remember, the fourth target was back over here at 58,758. If we start losing the fourth target, then yes, we could see some lower prices after that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, it's currently not on the radar. The trending dots are still trending up. And if you draw out a trend line like this, we still have this upward trend line, right? So it still could be that V-shaped recovery. Let me just redraw it. still could be that V-shaped recovery from here. And it's like that. So it comes down like this, and that's a V-shaped recovery. So you start breaking back below and get candle closes back below here, right? It's no longer a V-shaped recovery, in my personal opinion. So it'd be back below the trading dots, be back below this upward trend line, etc., etc., etc. So that's what it is on Bitcoin. That's what I'm watching today. Keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at any other ones. Solana, we covered this a lot yesterday. See if it finds support, a chain link over here above the trading dots. Near could be breaking back down below the trading dots, which means that could be a lower high, could see some lower prices down on near. Too early to call it. Could just be putting in a higher low too, right? So it's too early to say. Could this be a lower high? Yes. Could it put in another higher low? Yes. So, like I said, it's too early to say. You can kind of draw out a trend line like this, and that would be your higher probability breakout over there, right, on near. So just something to be aware of. We'll continue to watch over there. Dot up 1%. Similar thoughts. Sand could be breaking out. Too early to say. Will this be a higher low? Possibly, right? Would you have to redraw this? Possibly, right? If it does that. So, of course, you could come back up, put in a higher low, and continue out like that on sand, right? So, always a possibility. Filecoin was looking like it was starting to break out, had that buy signal, possible higher low, possibly found support of the trending dots, and could be making a move up to the upside. So Filecoin was up like 9%, currently up 6.8% today. Algo, still above the trending dots. Mana, still above the trending dots. Cardano, barely hold on to the trading dots. There was a pending buy signal earlier today. Still no buy signal as of right now. Matic breaking back below the trending dots over here. So just things to be aware of. Atom could be finding support above the trending dots. So we'll continue to watch over there. Let's switch gears over to the indices. Remember, we've been talking about there's been bearish divergence on the NASDAQ going back to, what was it? December 2023. So bearish divergence, right? But there's no lower high yet. There's still no lower high. If we come back on here, over here, we come back over here, right? We're pointing out bearish divergence was getting picked up on the indicator. Additional bearish divergence did not get picked up on the indicator. But if I change the inputs, it might. But you can see that of pointing out bearish divergence. There's still no lower high as of yet on the NASDAQ. Once there's a lower high, it'll be a higher probability that we're going to see lower prices. Was that a sneaky lower high? It's possible. If you start seeing candle close back below the trending dots, yes, it did back here, but only had that one sell signal, and then prices bought back up again. But if you start seeing candle closes back below, the upward trend line, right? And then, of course, the sell signal, that would be a higher probability, especially if RSI is getting back below, say, 55, 54, all that, and that's happening, then we could probably see a correction on the NASDAQ finally, right? If there hasn't really been a correction since I closed out my short on October 26th, which is well documented on the live streams, right? In hindsight, did I wish I would have bought a long position with futures to the upside? Yes, absolutely. In hindsight, a futures position would have been an amazing move to the upside. I didn't, right? I missed that one. That's all right. We just look for the next opportunity. We don't get caught up in the FOMO. There we go. Yep, we're gonna talk about it. I know we're gonna talk about it. We're 14 minutes in. We're not gonna get caught up in the FOMO, right? Saw some posts on Twitter, Twitter X app, and of course, we're gonna get into it. So bearish divergence. We're not buying up here. If you were to buy, you want to be buying back down here, right? You don't want to be buying into the FOMO up here. So the only thing about the bearish divergence is that the higher time frames are still ultra bullish, right? So as an awareness, it was ultra bullish over here, aka overbought, went through a correction, and then started to flip back around. Could we see that again, right? Could we see the bearish divergence get cleared, stay in this uptrend, maybe even fake out to the downside again, like back here? So it would look very similar, right? Look very similar, and then come back up and hit A and F target 1, right? It's possible. It is for sure possible that we do see something like that. So we're not talking about NASDAQ going to $10,000, right? We're not talking about NASDAQ going to $5,000. We're talking about a possible shorter term retracement, clear out the bearish divergence, and then possibly find support and make a bounce from there, and maybe take a run at the ANF target 1 up there above. I think it's around $20,000. So wherever it's at, a little above $20,000, we'll see what happens. Of course, if it starts breaking down from this longer term upward trend line, we're going to start to change our tune over here, and we'll take a look at it. So that's the NASDAQ. Let's take a quick look at Magnificent Seven. We're going to circle back to the Bitcoin mining stocks. There was a pending buy signal on Hive. We'll take a look at it. NVIDIA, bearish divergence as well. Candle close below the trading dots. Still in this uptrend, longer term. Has only hit one target to the downside so far. Hasn't put in a lower high yet. Right? RSI is putting in lower highs. So that is bearish divergence. Of course, we had a MACD bearish crossover, right? We will see. Doesn't mean the MACD couldn't cross over positive and then cross back over negative again, right? Remember, higher time frames are still bullish, so this could be a shorter term correction. We will see if the price puts in a lower high. Had that reverse candle, had that bearish engulfing candle, had a higher high on price, but a lower high on RSI again. So there was additional bearish divergence. So we're going to keep an eye on it over there. Meta had the bearish divergence. Meta had a sell signal yesterday. Sell signal yesterday. What's happening? What is happening today? Why is it? Where's the candle over here? It should be a sell signal. Where's the Friday candle? Did it drop down? Let's see. What's happening? Yes, Friday. It is Friday, confirmed. Let's see. Let me hit the refresh button over here. That's weird. That is weird. Meta, weekly chart, daily chart. It's Good Friday. Oh my God. There we go. We're so caught up in crypto. Oh my God. The stock market is closed. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. You got to have some fun on this channel. 18 minutes into it, 3 hours into my day, and the stock market is closed. You won't get too many laughs out of that. Daryl, Good Friday. Yeah, Good Friday. Oh my God. Yeah, so wrapped up in the charts. So we had a sell signal on Thursday, and of course the stock markets are closed. And yet we're doing a live stream. This is our first official live stream when the stock market is closed since September 2023. We never planned to do a live stream when the stock market is closed. This is hilarious. All right, so I guess we're preparing for the next stock market open. It's hilarious. All right, so that was fun. We're not on Saturday. We're on Friday, but it's Good Friday, and the stock market is closed. And yesterday, Thursday, there's a sell signal on Meta. Oh, this is great. It's great. We're putting in overtime over here. We're putting in extra work. Obviously, I wasn't day trading today. I don't day trade very often, but when I do, the stock market better be open. Wow. All right. So here we go. We'll wrap this up. We'll keep it a little bit closer. I do have a rant, though. I do have another rant. So we'll do that. Obviously, there's not going to be any 4K mods. Yeah. I mean, I get chopped up sometimes. It's part of the game. If you're going to take, over time, you'll probably take less trades. Over time, you'll probably pick your spots a little bit better. But especially early on, you'll probably get chopped up more. And then eventually you'll just decide like, hey, I'm going to pick my spots and be more strategic on which moves I make, especially with leverage. And you'll probably get chopped up less over time, right? So good Friday, TGIF, good Friday. And we're doing a live stream when the stock market's closed. Hilarious. We never planned to do it. Here we are talking about stocks and the stock market is closed. However, let's finish up our thoughts on the Magnificent Seven. Even though the stock market is closed, there was a sell signal yesterday. And yesterday in the live stream, we were talking about a pending sell signal. You got bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence. Possible sneaky lower high over here. Possible sneaky lower high. Very difficult to see it. I don't know if I wouldn't even say it's really a lower high, but multiple candle closes back below the trending dots. The trending dots flashed red as well yesterday, and we had a sell signal. So target 1 most likely was hit. Target 2 seems like target 2 could be a possibility. Remember, this could be a possible buy the dip scenario. Too early to say. Could come back down to target 2. We had target 3 possibly come all the way back up. This is ANF target 1 up here. So just be awareness. Meta, if you had a buy position out here as an example, you took a long, and then you see it gap up, then you see bearish divergence, you see a reverse candle, you see additional bearish divergence, and then you see price start closing back below the trending dots, then you see a sell signal. When would now be a good time to take profit, right? If you're a swing trader and you're into that sort of thing of taking profit, and you took, for example, a buy the dip over here, you're seeing all of this. Price is overbought for all this time, right? Price is overbought from January 10th all the way until March 8th, right? So 2 months it was overbought, gapped up, right? All that bearish divergence, and now a sell signal. When would now be a good time if you're a swing trader? If you're a long-term investor, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe you just have to decide what's best for you. If you look at the weekly chart as an example, it's still ultra bullish on the weekly chart. And this could just be, a retracement back to, say target 2 where the trending dots are. Could go even lower, fill that gap down here, come all the way back down like this, find support, and come up like that. So we don't know. We don't know how it's going to play out. I'm just giving examples over here of what your plan of attack is. Amazon, the stock market is closed. We won't spend too much time. Microsoft, Tesla, Apple, Google, right? So everything we pretty much covered yesterday. Let's get back over to the Bitcoin mining stocks real quick. HUT had that buy signal on March 20th. Hive had the buy signal yesterday. It was a pending buy signal yesterday, and now it's a buy signal. MIGI could have a pending buy signal in the next stock market open, possibly. Bitfarm, not yet. CLSK, Marathon Digital had a buy signal on Wednesday, right? Riot, not yet. We gonna make it. Already had that breakout. Wolf, Iris Energy, and so on and so on and so on. So here's the other part of the rant, right? Here is the other part of the rant, and then we'll pretty much call it. Let's see. Oh, so here's the monthly chart of MicroStrategy, right? So here's what I was. Oop. Let me get back on the cursor. Here's what I posted on the Twitter X app real quick. Where is it? Right here. Oh, don't forget to like, repost, and comment. Help me, help you, help me. Even when the stock market is closed, we're doing live streams about the stock market when the stock market is closed. Oh my gosh. Right? So some things will never change. ... There were people who bought the top wick of 2021. This is a monthly chart, by the way. And some are buying MicroStrategy above $1,800. Whether it's a top wick or not isn't the point. So we're not saying this is the top. We're not calling it the top right now. We're not calling it. The point is they were buying into fear of missing out. They're buying the FOMO. They're getting greedy, right? Rule number 1, buy low. Seems simple. Sell high. Seems simple, right? Have a strategy in place. Obviously, there's more rules, right? Obviously, there's more rules, but just for fun, rule number one, buy low, sell high. Rule number two, don't break rule number one, right? So all I'm doing is pointing out people bought on this wick here, right? And people are buying in this wick here. Even some analysts out there were talking about buying above $1,800. Will it work out? It could. It could work out, right? It can possibly work out. And price went to $2,000, almost exactly $2,000, I think, on that top wick. But that's not the point. The point is, in a bull run, you could probably get away with that. And those are bad habits. Those are extremely bad habits. If you're buying up here on this top wick, after all this moves on the weekly chart, the monthly chart are ultra bullish, aka overbought. Sometimes when the magic happens and you're buying way up here, that's not my strategy. That's not my strategy whatsoever. Maybe you're trying to be a hero. Maybe you're just doing it for engagement. Who knows what the case is? But those are bad habits that you might get away with and you probably make money. Maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 30%, but that's not a good strategy long term. A better strategy long term, for example, I don't trade based off the monthly chart, but since we're looking at a monthly chart, if you're buying down here where there's a buy signal, right? Back below $200, and then price starts to go parabolic and price starts to go ultra bullish. And 4 months later, price is going parabolic all the way above $1,200. People were still buying back then, and then it reverses, right? So it's a better strategy to buy low and a better strategy to buy high, whether it's back here, 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 or here, wherever that strategy is, over here, right? And or sell over here. You would still be profitable if you bought here and sold here, right? If you're buying here, the odds of you being profitable is very, 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 very low. Could you do it? Yes. Could you get away with it? Yes. Will it lock in bad habits? Definitely, right? So don't do that. Don't do that. Find a better strategy. Obviously, I'm not on the monthly chart for my strategy. Weekly chart probably be the highest I go, but I look at the monthly and I look at the 2 week and I look at the weekly chart for direction, for directional purposes. And I try to hold the trade longer or looking for a longer term reversal, right? So that's what we're looking at. People bought here. People are buying here above $1,800. Will they get away with it? Maybe. Maybe not. Price is back down to 1,700 over here. Let's take a look at it on the daily chart. There is bearish divergence, right? The indicator is picking up bearish divergence. And when the indicator is picking up bearish divergence, and when the indicator is overbought, when the indicator is sometimes when the magic happens, people are buying up here, right? Even on the daily chart, right? The last buy signal was back here at $590 on the daily chart. If you bought anywhere above that, could you get away with it? Yes. You could have gotten away with it all the way up here. But is that a good strategy, right? Buy the right dip, right? So after this last move, that was a nice correction. Then a buy signal at say 590-ish. Then it started to get overbought. There's bearish divergence and people are buying up in here, right? So buy low, sell high, right? Could it go higher? Absolutely, it could go higher. It could go all the way to the moon, right? But a better strategy, in my own personal opinion, is buy down here. And when others are getting greedy, right? Others are getting greedy. Don't be exit liquidity, right? Of course it could go higher. Of course it could, right? We were talking about bearish divergence at 1777 and it went to 2000. We're talking about bearish divergence at 1704. It could go to 2200, right? Put in additional bearish divergence. Put in additional bearish divergence, right? It could put in bearish divergence all the way up here. That's not the point. The point is buy low, sell high. Don't get greedy. Don't get into the fear of missing out, the FOMO, all that stuff. So with that, good Friday. Daryl, will you check the one USDT? Sure, we'll check it. Good morning, Jesse. Can we check DGT. G-Rod, do we want to check it when the stock market's closed? Good morning, Arnold. Oh, no, Jesse, we are on Saturday. No, Sunday's coming. Happy Friday, brother. Matthew, thank you. Happy Friday. Could you take a look at CRV, crypto? Sure. Buy high, sell low, Kathy Wood strategy. If BTC consolidates or corrects for longer, do you think alts will run or correct again too? Yeah, first and foremost, Tesla John, trade the chart in front of you first and foremost. But yeah, if Bitcoin was consolidating around all-time highs, getting ready to make a bigger move up, we could definitely see some, maybe not all, some altcoins pump, some Bitcoin mining stocks pump, right? Bitcoin related assets for sure. We could see that. So yeah, let's end this with some of the crypto requests over here, and at least help out get a live stream going for these crypto assets where the markets never close, even on Good Friday. So here we are. What was it? What was the first one? I think it was one. Where was it? Where is it? What is one? No. Yeah. G-Rod, remind me on the next day the stock market is open for DJT, and we'll come back to it. But no point in really covering it on let's see, CRV. Where's one? Oh my gosh. I just had it on there. So good morning. Going back through it. Was it lower? Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay. All right. Let's look it up. One USDT chart. Sure, you got it. And then put in some more details. What are you looking at on it? Harmony, Binance. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like all the other crypto assets that we covered. There was a correction over here, right? Probably about 30%, I would guess, if it's similar to the other one, wick to wick. 30, almost 37%, right? So it's somewhere in between. Is this a higher low or is this a lower high, right? So it's somewhere in between that. Trending dots, maybe it's finding support at trending dots, right? Maybe it'll find support, and we'll continue to watch it over here. And maybe you could kind of draw it out like this and then have the next buy the dip scenario out like that, right? So that's what you're kind of watching. Maybe it takes some more time to build up some more momentum. Maybe it's something like this, right? And it comes out like that. So we will see. A lot of the crypto assets could be looking like that. Bitcoin could take a little bit longer as well. I have my reasons why. Posted in the Discord, and I'll post some updated charts in the Discord. I posted this exact reason in the Discord for Bitcoin that it could consolidate longer. I have a reason why, and I posted in the Discord 2 or 3 days ago, right? So 2 or 3 days ago, I posted in the Discord of a possible scenario. Even though Bitcoin was coming up like this, I posted it back here, right? That we could see a longer consolidation, and it would be healthy, right? It would coil up, and it would build up some more momentum, coil up, and then come back out. So I put that reason out there. Could take a week or two, right? Could take a week or two. I could definitely see that. And maybe after post halving, that kind of lines up with it as well. And then you kind of redraw this out like that. And that would be like a bigger, longer, nice, healthy consolidation. And then, of course, we could redraw a more aggressive downward trend line if you're into that sort of thing, being aggressive, right? So that could definitely play out, something like that. So I posted in Discord the exact reason. I'll do a follow-up post on it today, even though the market's closed. What else? There was another one and another one. DJT, CRV. All right, let's do CRV. And then I think we're going to call it over here. Oh, CRV. Oh, what happened? Too many. Let's see. CRV, Tether. Yeah, similar thoughts, right? Similar thoughts. So the corrections are very healthy coming down this low. This is probably a 40%er. I would assume this is probably at least 40%. But timing wise, it only corrected for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So you either want a V shape to keep V shaping, or it's going to take some more time to build up time wise. Doesn't mean the low is not in. The low could be in, but it might take some more time for it to consolidate sideways and build up more momentum to the upside, right? So let's see that from wick to wick, it came down. Only it looks like a lot more. It was 34% correction, right? Came back up, back above the trending dots. So we don't know if this is going to be a higher low, another higher low. Is a fine support? Is going to come back out. Regardless, could take some time to build up momentum, right? Kind of does a coiling and comes back out like that. It's possible it coils and goes sideways, being prepared for that. That's typically the hardest for swing traders. It's typically the hardest not to get chopped up, right? Because it builds up some more momentum, builds up some energy, and then explodes to the upside, right? So you kind of go back, you kind of see it right here, right? So you've got this peak over here, you got a lower high over here, and then you can see that on this last correction over here on CRV, you had a correction of 40%. But not only that, you also had a correction of from wick to wick is 46-day correction. And then before the next buy signal was 60 days. So 30 to 60-day correction is a strong possibility. Could it go lower? Possibly. But this one could be different where this is the low and then it still consolidates sideways and then builds up momentum because it's rare. I think it's more rare that it just V shapes out than it's more rare than consolidating more, right? So I think this instance where it comes straight down and straight back up is less likely but welcomed, right? Less likely but welcome. Just like less likely V shape here, right? Or V shape here. I think it's less likely. I think that's what people want to happen. And of course, it could happen. There could be a short squeeze, right? But I think it's less likely. I think after a big move down, it just takes some time to build up more momentum and then comes out like that. So I hope that answers your question. Jesse, could you check BCH? You got it. Ooh, just you're late to the party on the request, but you're a longtime market sniper, longtime follower over there. Shooter, by the way. So I got you. I got you, my man. BCH, let's do it. I know I have it on the watch list. Should have it on the watch list, or I did at one time. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe I removed it. Ultra bullish on the daily chart still. So here's a little bit different where it had that similar correction, right? So this would be the V-shaped recovery. Yeah, let me just tell you what I think is less likely, and then just show you an example where V-shaped recovery looks like, right? So perfect. 34%. Less likely V-shape, BCH V-shaped, right? Not exactly, but no, actually, I mean, it did correct from the 3rd to the 19th. So it's at least a 2-week correction, right? So this would have been more like, 6 days down and then straight back up. So it's kind of close to a V-shape. It's somewhere in between, more of a consolidation. It's somewhere in between a 1-month consolidation and a 6-day retracement and V shape. So could be something like that, right? But yeah, it's ultra bullish. It's a V shape. It took out this pivot point already over here, and so you had a nice 34% correction down to this wick. So that was the low at 34%. Came back very closely. So a lot of the altcoins could do something similar, right? A lot of the altcoins might be in this area here, trying to find support at the trending dots, comes back down, and then V shapes out. So that's what could happen. That would be like another. So 3 scenarios, right? 1, maybe some of the altcoins consolidate for 30 to 60 days. 2, maybe they just V-shape recovery after 6 days. Or 3, loses support at the trending dots. The bottom is already in, but then it puts in a slightly higher wick, right? And then V shapes straight after that. So three scenarios, right? Anything could happen. Just know what you're playing to the downside, and if it puts in that second wick up there, just know that probably something like that. And then of course you're watching the buy signal over here on the daily chart or whatever time frame you're on, and then you're watching getting back above the trending dots, and those are all milestones. And then of course breaking the downward trend line, so you got all that move to the upside, right? So with that, hope that helps. Bitstamp. Oh, you gotta tell me next time. Yesterday, hi Jesse. This Solano formed a triangle shape to break popcorn yellow stripe. I don't know. Might be too early. Might be too early to call it. Could be something similar. Maybe this wick is in, right? But maybe it comes back down similar to BCH and then comes back out like that. We don't know yet. It's too early to say. It's trying to find support at the trending dots. It never had a sell signal. Didn't have a bigger correction. It's possible this one's a little bit different. So we'll see on that one. Shooter, by the way, you got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. With that, here's cheers to our first live stream while the stock market is closed. And we still did 41 minutes. I hope we found value today. If you did find value today, consider smashing that like button, smashing that subscribe button, helping me help you, even though the stock market is closed. 2 rants, 2 educational things that we talked about today. And help me, help you, help me. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday. Hope you have a good weekend. Spend some time with the family. Spend some time with your friends. Get outdoors. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you. I appreciate you. Adios.